Once upon a time, there was a racing championship that tried to change the world. Our brave protagonists battled against climate change. And inspired the bold. A new cast of characters took centre stage. Equality, environment, energy, technology. Humanity needed them all on this odyssey. Now, there is one last chapter to be written. Sustainability and action, the key players on this vital mission. This is the time for change. This is Extreme E. Welcome to another episode of Electric Odyssey. In this show, we meet racing legend Jimmie Johnson and find out why he has joined this championship. We discover the location of the next Extreme E rounds and learn how Vodafone and Medsi are helping to fight wildfires in Sardinia. One of the new kids on the block this season is All-American Legacy Motor Club, owned by racing legend and 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmie Johnson. We caught up with Jimmie in London to find out more about his plans as a new Extreme E owner and driver.
To be here in an off-road division has been a long time coming. It's been a few years since I've been in the dirt, but very excited to be a part of the Extreme E Championship. I've always had an eye on it. Honestly, when I was driving IndyCar at Chip Ganassi Racing, they entered the championship. Some of my old friends from the off-road world were involved with Chip's program. And I've always desired to be back an off-road vehicle, be on the dirt, be off the ground. Literally since I moved to stock car racing, I just stayed on that path and stayed focused and have yet to be back on the dirt. Obviously, we have our NASCAR program, and I'm in the process of really trying to create Legacy Motor Club and the brand and what we are within motorsports. Yes, we have that foundational piece as a legacy and what we've created, but we want to redefine the name of legacy, or the definition of legacy, I should say, and give young drivers an opportunity to come up through our system and create their own legacy for themselves, and to be a part of championships that are trying to create their own legacy, which is Extreme E. It's definitely going to be a new set of challenges. In all the years of driving, I've never raced for a championship in a four-wheel drive vehicle. I've driven a couple, but only in like the Race of Champions and some other small little events. So two-wheel versus four-wheel is an entirely different discipline that I need to understand. I've never raced an electric vehicle. There are a lot of new things going to come about for me, but I'm excited for the challenge, and where I am in my career, that's what I want to do. I want these unique experiences. I want to be in marquee events, marquee series, and race all around the world, and I'm excited for this. We entered the championship literally a week or two before the first race, and I think it speaks volumes to the infrastructure that Extreme E has, the equality amongst the vehicles on track, and then some mad props go out to the Rosberg group and all the help that they helped us with to get our vehicle in tip-top shape and going. Travis Pastrana and Gry Lebetter did the driving and just did a great job. Both adapted well to a new environment and a new vehicle. And Gry, her experience in four-wheel drive vehicles and certainly EV, she was thrown in the deep end of the pool and did an amazing job holding her own. So Gry will be in the vehicle the rest of the year, and very excited to watch her progress as she gets more seat time. We were pretty competitive by the end, so I think the second round and on will be in the mix. Very excited to be a team owner and to also drive in select few NASCAR events, and then this year I will also drive in a few Extreme E events. I think you'll see us hit our stride and really try to compete and hopefully find ourselves on the podium, if not on that top box, before the season's out. To have the first Extreme E race in the States, I will have raced in the NASCAR event just a few weeks beforehand in the same area. I think our fans will come out and support, and I think it's going to be a great show. Looking at the future and where Extreme E is heading to Extreme H and trying to be a part of that big initiative, I think it's important to me to be a part of H as a team owner, as a driver, as a team owner that's trying to offer different technology to our partners, also marketing opportunities for our partners. I really see Extreme E being an important piece to Legacy Motor Club's future and the diversification we can offer our partners, our drivers, our technology partners, and then also developing crew members as well.
Sardinia has been part of Extreme E's calendar since the start of the championship, but our links to the island reach far beyond racing. In Season 2, Extreme E joined forces with Vodafone Business and MedSea Foundation to help tackle the region's devastating wildfires by installing fire detection sensors.
The first ultra-early wildfire sensor.
And 2 years later, we're back to get an update on the Sardinian sensors.
What we're doing here today is completing the forest proof of concept that we're doing with Extreme E and MedSea on Sardinia to help the local environmentalists and scientists, firstly, how to help to protect the forests and the woodlands from forest fire and react to them in real time, and secondly, to provide information and data on the woodland regeneration for those woodlands that are recovering from the fires of 2021.
Gli allerta della protezione civile erano l'allerta massima, l'allerta rossa, le condizioni atmosferiche e quasi 40 gradi a terra, è stata una tragedia. Sono stati devastati ettari e ettari di bosco, sono stati trovati purtroppo anche tanti animali che non sono riusciti a sopravvivere. La devastazione del fuoco, che era anche di una potenza inaudita, è stato definito nella scala internazionale Big Fire.
Fires are very dangerous, and every year we have casualties, unfortunately. Every year we have average 3,500 ignition for big fires.
To replicate a real wildfire and test the sensors' work, the local authorities on site lit and carefully controlled a handful of fires.
So far so good. We're about 7 minutes in and we're waiting for our first detection.
So how the technology works is we put sensors in trees, roughly 1 tree per football pitch of woodland, and they act as noses for the forest. They detect the smells, the composition of burning material, and analyse that to understand if it is actually a fire or something else. And then they report that back to a platform where we can send alerts. So by sending a pinpoint for which sensor is triggering, or sensors, we know how big the fire is and how to get help there as quickly as possible.
Having an ultra-early detection system in those areas is something that is going to make a difference in terms of fighting fires at an early stage and preventing them even from spreading and becoming catastrophic.
What just happened was 3 of the sensors picked up a phase 1 detection in air quality change. They processed that, and at least one of them has then triggered and sent a platform alert to our browser. I am very, very happy. This has been a long time coming. Within 21 minutes of starting a fire, we've got a detection.
In addition to the fire detection system, we've also added a tree growth monitoring sensor, and it monitors the actual growth of the tree trunk and reports ambient temperature, humidity, but also the ground and soil temperature and humidity.
Sono veramente felice di aver lavorato a questo progetto. La tecnologia applicata permette di sorvegliare quindi le condizioni del bosco, come si evolve la biodiversità, quindi anche la possibilità che questi vengano distrutti da incendi improvvisi, ma soprattutto permette di farlo in maniera tale che le risorse umane utilizzate siano molto inferiori.
We work at the regional level, whereas this system that works at the hyper-local level, where you cannot have the human eyes. It's got a big potential.
As technologists, we can't put out fires, but we can certainly provide data about how often they might happen, where they might happen, and when they're happening.
Hopefully means we save lives, ecosystems, environments, and woodland for the future.
The location for the next 2 rounds of Extreme E have been announced, and we're returning to Scotland. Round 3 and 4 will be the Hydrox Prix, taking place on the 13th and 14th of July. And if it's anything like last year, you can look forward to a lot of excitement and action. The scarred landscape of a former coal mine put the teams to the test, with round 3 immediately delivering the drama.
Contact and a roll! Absolutely huge crash! Timmy Hansen going to pass McConnell, pushes him out wide. And RXR off the side of the road, Johan Kristoffersson.
In the final, Andretti Oltakila crossed the line first. But a post-race penalty spoiled the party.
We've got it, Chris. I got a 15.3 second penalty. Well done, well done.
Promoting X44 to the top step of the podium. Round 4 brought some of the worst weather conditions in the championship's history.
Now Gilmore into the barrier on the inside line. Scheider goes in really hard behind Gilmore. Spin, Scheider's gone round, and that's Anderson. The App Cooper has gone into the drink as well.
The drivers had to battle the elements as much as each other up to the grand final.
Bit of contact. Kevin Hansen gets the whole shot first. Kristoffersson sideways, trying to come around the outside line. He's got the inside. Tanner Phelps goes all the way around the outside in the Neon McLaren. That is a brilliant pass.
However, Veloce maintained their composure to take the win of the second round of the Hydrox Prix. Extreme E is built around its founding principles of equality, racing technology and the environment. But for the whole community, safety is the #1 priority for everybody in the X-Prix paddock.
We have always new tracks in Extreme E, so you can't really look at the gearbox from the previous year, for example. We want to fight for a championship, but everything can happen in Extreme E, of course. Last year was so competitive. When I had my crash, the radio shut down.
Contact and a roll! Absolutely huge crash!
So I couldn't communicate with anyone, but the MDD came out so fast. When you have a crash like this, the adrenaline is pumping, and they were taking super good care of everyone. You really feel like you're in a safe pair of hands.
So the MDD role on site is we take care of the full medical package. We deal with minor injuries up to life-threatening trauma injuries.
Just prior to the event, what we always do is we do a red car exercise.
Racing incidents prompt a multi-department response. Coordination is crucial, so a real-time accident simulation, a red car exercise, occurs at each event to maintain the response team's readiness.
When I wave and slow you down, just stop. The idea of this scenario is that no one else knows what's happening, so when they come to you, they will ask you if you're okay. No response whatsoever. Then they have to take action.
This is Marshall Point 14 race control. The car has crashed and it has a red light.
My team will take up 2 positions on the course, then race control will decide where they would like an incident.
Guys, if you mount up, waypoint 12, there's a marshal in difficulties.
We then need to get to that waypoint as fast as possible. We will then secure the vehicle, isolate the vehicle. I will make access safely for the doctor to assess the driver, where it will come up what sort of extrication. If we return to a driver which is non-responsive, not breathing, this becomes a rapid. 2 of my team members, one will take the legs, one will take the head. They will then remove the helmet, the hand unit, secure a collar around the driver's neck.
Oxygen running at 15 litres per minute. Have we got response from the driver? No response still.
And occasionally we use a boa, or if need be, other form, to lift the driver safely onto a board, where the doctor will then take control. The driver will be laid down on the board, secured, taken to the vehicle where he is placed in a cage.
Ready, brace, lift. You lead.
That's the first time we've done a rapid extraction with an unconscious driver. We've been practicing it statically at the Spark Garage for the last few races, so we've now done it live. And then it's the first time we've thrown in a secondary incident at the same practice. This is why we do it, because it could happen in a race.
The whole thing is communication between race control, between medical centre and between the MDD team on track. Also recovery, because we all have one job, and that is the safety of everybody on that track.
And there's still more to come in this week's Electric Odyssey. We'll chat with the youngest driver in the paddock, Legacy's Gry Lebetter. Look ahead to our episode 6 special about the brand new Extreme Hydrogen Championship. And hear how Extreme E and EY are helping to shape the future of young people in the UK. She may be one of the youngest ever drivers in the paddock, but Legacy's Gry Lebetter put on an impressive display in her first ever Extreme race weekend. Gry and Travis Pastrana, her teammate in the Desert X Prix, won round 2 of the Continental Traction Challenge. So, what does the 19-year-old American driver think about joining the Extreme Championship?
I'm really excited to be here. I went to the one in Uruguay back in 2022, and then I kind of fell in love with it ever since. I just never had the opportunity. And then Travis texted me and I was like, hey, this might happen, be prepared. And I was just like, okay. It's crazy because if you told me when I was 8 years old that I'd be racing with Travis, I would have called you a liar, simply because I looked up to him growing up. I mean, he's one of the biggest names in the industry, and now to be able to race against him, it doesn't feel real still to this day. Nobody in my family races. I grew up on dirt bikes when I was 4 years old, and then it kind of just elevated from there. I fell in love with whatever I did. I didn't go to school, I didn't go to friends' birthday parties, I didn't go to anything. I just sat at the racetrack. I would just be like, everything works out. Like, yeah, you gave up a lot to be here. Just keep doing what you're doing and just work forward. And now here I am 10 years later or whatever, and we're here. I think I am the youngest, but I don't notice it. I've raced against everybody older than me most of my life. They're just race car drivers. That's all we are. We're just normal people, and then we get in a race car and we go, and then we come back and we're still normal people. So it's just how it is. It doesn't really bother me or faze me. I don't even really notice it. To come into a new team with not it only just being Jimmie Johnson and Travis Pastrana, but to just come into a new team and be able to build something. Obviously, we're going off of everybody else in the paddock because they've already had experience, but we're just starting everything fresh. Jimmie has raced everything there is in four wheels, from off-road to NASCAR. To have such a legend be able to come back into off-road after he claimed to have retired, he clearly has not, because any race car driver that has raced for that long just can't get out of it. Thankfully, I'm friends with Fraser I raced against when I was 14, which is weird to think about. And there's a few other people that I just know in general that have raced it, and be able to talk to them and just learn the best you can. I think it's really cool that XE goes to such remote places and places where they probably have never necessarily seen this kind of racing. If you told me 3 months ago that we'd be here, I would just be like, okay, like whatever. I think it just brings something new to everywhere that they go, and that part is super exciting and really cool to be a part of.
And now it's time to talk about a different kind of legacy. Extreme E and EY's latest sustainability report looked at the impact of the Championship Legacy Programme, which aims to make a positive change to the local environment and community at each race site. One of the highlights is a 5-year turtle conservation initiative in Saudi Arabia. The report found over 1 ton of litter has been removed from a local beach, 332 individual nesting turtles have been recorded, and 269 adult turtles have been tagged for tracking. Andretti's Katie Munnings explains more about the initiative.
Back to the race 1 of season 1, we had a Red Sea restoration project with sea turtles there, and to actually see in numbers, you know, the tagged turtles and the impact that it's had, turtles coming back for 30 years after having not been there because of the work that we did in protecting that natural habitat on the beach. Follow-ups like that, I think, is what really makes a sustainable championship sustainable.
The 2 types of turtles that we've engaged with in the Red Sea, the green turtle and the hawksbill turtle. And the latter of those 2 made its way onto the critically endangered list, sadly, in the 1990s. Extreme E, through its liaison with the Bar Foundation, sought to shore up those breeding grounds for the turtles.
Ras Baridi is one of the most important nesting beaches in the whole Red Sea, and fall under our responsibility to develop the best strategy, the best activity to do our research, but also to do a conservation to protect these species, to preserve them here in the Red Sea for the present and for the future generations. People probably are not aware about how important it is to avoid, dropping rubbish in the planet, in the ocean.
So many parts of the world now have an extraordinary concentration of pollution in the ocean, and a lot of that does end up on beaches, and that provides really difficult obstacles for things like tiny little turtle hatchlings to reach the sea.
The gender of the babies depends on the temperature of the incubation. The climate change is shifting all the regime with the rain and the weather. Sometimes it's very cold in some places that should be warmer. Because the temperature is increasing, now we are increasing the production of females. So there are not enough turtle males in the water to fertilize all the females that are ready to lay the eggs. They survive in the planet for more than 200 million years. And now they are facing this situation, and it's because of humans. So we should do something to avoid and to minimize those impacts. In the very first year, big campaign just to go to the site, do the awareness about what's the situation there. The drivers were there, they make an amazing beach cleanup activity, and now we are doing that in a daily basis. In theory, if we are succeeding on this story, and I think we are doing, I can guarantee that my daughter, the future generation, can enjoy a part of the planet that we live.
It's not just arrive at a location, do a bit of legacy work, leave and then never talk about it again. It's about actually making sure that we do make an impact and keeping that communication with the local communities open to making sure that we're still helping them in the way that we can with the technology that the different partners of Extreme E has, and making sure that it's a lot broader than just surface level kind of legacy work.
Extreme E is committed to providing a platform for young people to enter and succeed in the motorsport industry. They partnered with the EY Foundation Sustainable Tech Programme, where 16 students had the opportunity to experience the different sectors of the business firsthand.
Today is part of our EY Foundation programme, and we're at Extreme E getting more information and a first-hand experience from people who work here themselves.
Our programmes exist to support young people that come from low-income backgrounds. Sadly, in the UK, if you are in receipt of free school meals when you're younger, it means that you're 3 times more likely to be unemployed by the time you're 27. And even if you get the same academic qualifications as your better-off peers, you're still likely to earn 50% less than them. So social inequity in this country is still a huge, huge problem. There is a real lack of diversity within the sustainability space as well. But if we want to tackle some of the world's most challenging problems, we need bright, creative, diverse minds to do that. So that's why I think this programme is so important. The whole point of the programme was to broaden young people's horizons about the possibilities of careers within the sustainable tech field. Extreme E are at the forefront of that, so what better place for them to learn?
In essence, it aligns with our purpose and aligns with what we are doing in some capacity already with regards to the Racing for All initiative. So there was great synergy and we were quite keen to get involved.
It gets young people out of their comfort zone. We're able to speak to people we've never spoken to before, and it also opens loads of pathways.
It's important to teach young people about how they can get into corporate life, and it's also important to teach them about sustainability and what they can do in the future to make sure that our world's a good place.
I think the young people have had an absolutely brilliant time, to be honest. They were quite a shy group of young people when we first met them a couple of weeks ago, but it's been really amazing to see them come out of their shells. They've had a really action-packed couple of weeks, from employability skills training to actually learning more about Extreme E, working alongside colleagues there.
One of the things we did was a business project, so we were split into groups and had to create our own business that was eco-friendly and present it to everyone else.
Different skills that I've learned are problem solving, communication skills, and the last skill that I learned was teamwork, as we've been doing a lot of group projects. I think that they should put a lot more of these programs out, as it's really beneficial to people to learn about corporate life and different pathways you can take.
I feel like it was such a great opportunity, and it's made young people really aware about motorsports and racing. I feel like it's not really spoken about and we ain't really educated about things like this. So we're now able to take that somewhere else and tell more people about it, and hopefully more people become invested into motorsports.
I think a lot of them are trying to come for my job, actually.
Yeah, potentially. I wouldn't see why not.
They should be very scared. I'll be coming and taking all the jobs.
On the next episode of Electric Odyssey, we'll reveal the new Extreme hydrogen car and give you exclusive behind-the-series access to the launch of this groundbreaking championship. Extreme H, the world's first hydrogen-powered off-road racing series, will start in 2025, but here's a taster of what you can expect.
Extreme H is really super exciting. It's actually coming from Extreme E, but it's going to be the only platform for pure hydrogen racing in the world. And that is going to give us the opportunity to be the testbed for this technology.
Hydrogen is an energy carrier, it's not an energy source. In all our attempts to electrify, it only goes to a certain limit. So you need a way to transport this green energy, and this is where green hydrogen comes in, because you can transport renewable energy wherever you need it.
What shouldn't be forgotten is we have had hydrogen in our paddock ahead of most of the other championships in the world. All of our electricity, everything there, the camera there that you're using has been charged up using electricity that's been supplied by Inera and hydrogen fuel cells.
It's already there, and it will find its way into buses, ships and planes. And Extreme H will offer an entire new world of opportunities when it comes to technology, reliability and safety. We both share this vision of demonstrating opportunities to reverse what we've done to the planet.
This is something completely new. We're starting from a blank sheet of paper for the hydrogen roadmap, but to create the technology around the hydrogen is key to make the whole economy of hydrogen work. And Extreme H becomes the testbed for all those technologies around hydrogen. That is, I think, the role that Extreme H can play.
You only get to do something first once, and that's us. And right now we're up and running with our hydrogen race car in testing and prototyping work. So it's a real thing, it's very tangible, so incredibly exciting.